There's an approach that world-class coaches use to structure their training week that you should be using too. That approach is called the high-low approach. Coined by Charlie Francis, a Canadian sprint coach, it's best defined as a logical way to structure the training week, which considers central nervous system fatigue and recovery in order to optimize performance. Or simply, a way to structure your training week that aims to allow for optimal recovery between CNS heavy sessions. We best explain this approach with our battery analogy. So think of your body like a battery that has a finite amount of juice in it that you can use for big efforts. And big efforts are high CNS activities that drain the battery mega quick. Generally speaking, it needs a window of at least 48 to 72 hours to properly recharge itself. So we need a training structure that allows us to use our battery, but recharge it adequately enough between bouts of drainage. Now, this high-low approach works on the premise that we split the structure of the week into then 2 days. High days, where we do all of our battery draining activities, and low days, where we're either resting or doing activities that don't drain our battery. So what constitutes a high or low activity? High activities are ones you see here. Sprints, explosive jumps and throws, weights that are higher than 80% 1RM, or maximal conditioning sessions, and then even high contact or mat simulation sports sessions. Low activities are the ones you see here, and they can be general circuit training, weights that are lower than 80% 1RM, tempo runs, or true aerobic activity work, or even active recovery. So to implement this approach, you first map out your client's weekly availability, fixed points you can't change, like games, and then training structure. Now from there, you select your days that are going to be high days, where you will program high CNS activities. And then you, as best as possible, separate all of your high days by at least 48 hours, ideally 72. You then simply program low days in the spaces between your high days. Just make sure that your low days are truly low days. What I mean is, coaches will often bugger this up in one of two ways. One, they'll try sneak in some high activities on a low day with the idea that it won't be enough to affect our battery recharging, but don't. It's not the end of the world, but you're really not then adhering to the principles of the approach. And then two, it's often misinterpreted that the battery or our CNS effort juice is segmented by body parts or patterns, and that's not the case. The CNS should be looked at as one large system, not individual segments. So a higher lower body day on Monday will still drain the battery overall for your high upper body day on Tuesday. But schedules, of course, are rarely perfect. So if you have to back-to-back high sessions, do it. Just account for it in the back end. So if we front load a week with high days, let's say Monday and Tuesday, we then have to back off in the middle or end of the week, and let's say Wednesday and Thursday then, with low days. The golden rule here though, when adapting this for non-elite athletes, where you don't control their every waking minute, is to use this approach for best reasonable practice. Don't expect to have the perfect high-low structured training week, but instead be perfectly agile with your approach, and always try to prioritize adequate recovery before your major performances. So in this way, you're still adhering to the principles of the perfect approach, but you're adapting them to the imperfect situation to make sure that you're giving yourself and your client the best chance for the best outcomes. And we've got one more surprise for you. If this is still a bit of a foreign concept and you're not quite sure what's going on, don't worry, we've got you covered. We took the liberty of making a cheat sheet for you on this. All you're gonna do is DM us for more information and we'll sort it out for you.